What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. This is VignWeek Day 1, and the topic was presented today on Rebelug social media as the mock to build in 24 hours a lair. At first I read it and I was like, a liar? I'm like, how am I gonna build a liar? A lair, okay? Real interesting. So, I already started. In fact, I have this so far. I'm going the micro scales. I got some concept art I'm following. So far, so bananas. Should end up pretty decent, but we'll see how it goes with the photography and stuff. I mean, I only have like 10 more hours or something like that. Actually, I probably have more time than that, but we'll see. All right, time for a little update. Jet just asked me, am I building for VinWeek? No, I'm not building for VinWeek. I am building for VinWeek. Here's a progress report. So far we got this water temple down here. We got like this bridge thing. We got pathways up. I'm thinking maybe putting a little boat down there. I got some like stuff built into the wall over here. I guess my next step I'm working on is like, where do I go from here? Like, do I build like a roof over it and then build like cities up here to make the lair all down here? Do I just like cave it over so it's like a cave? I think that's maybe where I'm leaning towards. Anyway, I'll do another update when I'm closer to the end, and then I'll also add some review where I look at other people's entries. VinWeek literally makes you go crazy. At the same time, I'm actually working on a spaceship for another contest thing that's due this week. That's all hidden over in that bin right there, because it's supposed to be secret. So I'll give you more updates along the way. Update time! I made a little bit of progress. I think I'm finally figuring out what I'm doing with the roof. That's the laundry you can hear going in the background. Bang bada bing bong. Here we go. We got like this, trying to transition up. I think we got a lot of cool little staircases and like ladders and stuff like that. Not sure if I'm going to add chains and stuff. So I'm thinking I'm going to go dark blay up on top. And we're going to build like a little either ruins or like a little fort up top. Possibly have some dark blay on the outside here to kind of like define the dark tan as like the lair. But I think everything's going well so far. Gonna take a quick break. Gotta go get a new charge cable for my phone so I can continue the music and the inspiration and get this thing done. Let's go. So I forgot to update it all, but I pretty much finished it, I think. Nobody's been giving me feedback. I think Grant went offline, but like, so I have that modern boat and then like this sort of wizardy guy. So come on, I don't know. And this old castle, but the reason I did a modern boat is because it's like so old, you know. Everything's broken down. We'll see if it works out or not. So here is the final results of VinWeek Day 1. I think I'm pretty happy with the results. Micro scale, one of my favorite scales to build in. Kind of did this mysterious atmosphere. I think I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It does feel a little squished to me, just the way the proportions ended up working out, but overall I think it's a good starter for a one-day build at least. Alright, here's the second build I did. The category for day 2 of VinWeek, rescue. Now I wanted to do something piratey, and I had this technique sitting around that I've been saving for literally years with the Ninja Turtle torsos. You can see I created these cages first of all, and then I decided to do like this hook thing. I knew I wanted it to be some kind of fire pit, and I think it ended up pretty good after I added the foliage. The minifigs were definitely the hardest part on this one, but for day 2 I think it's pretty decent for a rescue. Definitely different than what you would maybe first expect, but not like super stellar, you know, like super unique, but I'm happy with it, especially with the technique, finally being able to use that. Alright, day 3 for VinWeek was a great category, but kind of difficult for me. The category was post-apocalyptic. So you can see here I started off with the bridge. I actually had trouble even starting this one because I couldn't come up with a great concept for it at first. And as I went, you can see I'm working on the landscape, and then I add more details as we go. Add like more decay or more foliage. I ended up doing the red box as the last red box because I had a plan to do this whole scene, but I didn't have a subject of it. It was just going to be like electrical down into the water, and it was like, oh, dangerous times in the post-apocalyptic when the wire's into the water and it's electrified water. You don't want to fall in there and die. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Definitely added those trees like near the end of that, and I think that helped balance the whole build as well. And I like using the dark red. Alright, for the 4th day of VignWeek, the category was pirates, and some thought that this would be my best category because I've built pirates before. I didn't think it was going to be that hard to do pirates, but also I didn't think I was going to do that good because it's difficult to do unique pirates just like in a day. You kind of want to be like coming up with those techniques for a while. I did come up with this. You can see I did a floor pattern here, which you actually couldn't really notice in the main build. It almost just looks like I used tiles, but it's actually a little complex using brackets. That was fun to just play around with. And then also did those handlebars and did some greebling in there that felt a little bit unique. And that was a lot of fun to do, especially build that archway. And then I think I built the stone stuff first and then built the base out around from there, snotting. That was a pretty fun base to do. And then, of course, more foliage at the end. And I'm pretty happy with the end result of that. Using some lime leaves, that was always fun. And then making it frog themed. I've been wanting to bring back another segment of my pirate adventure. I've done a lot of the desert adventure, but bringing back the pirate guy was fun. And then also frogs. Frogs are such a classic thing that have been kind of forgotten in the recent times. So then we came to VignWeek Day 5, which the category was space. Now, I'd already done just done three minifig scales in a row, so I figured it was time to bring it back to micro scale, just to mix it up and not kill myself with too much brain power focused on all these different bases. The bases were actually a lot of the part of this week that was difficult to get started because I had the great concept. It's just then you have to build the base for it. Which, to make it actually stand out as a decent vignette, you need to have a pretty good base to tell your story on. Anyway, so space. I didn't really know what to do at first, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll do some farming. Farming would be fun, farming in space, and I wanted to do a more unique concept, so I found a stack of these trans-clear dishes that I had, and I kind of laid them on top of each other, and I was like, I could build some micro-scale farms in those. And then I decided on, like, the 3-dish in a sort of farm on this tan planet with some water on the main house with tin and stuff. It was fun to build. Definitely different concepts, sort of inspired by like old classic space ideas, you know, where they would have like those domes on different planets with like modern houses inside of them. That was fun. Probably not my strongest build, but I think it's definitely unique at least. And I know I got some comments saying that the dishes, they hadn't seen this like wide kind of dome before for a futuristic mock. Alright, the last day was probably the most difficult day for me. It was Star Wars plus a theme. Like your favorite theme or just any theme, I guess. First of all, Star Wars is not my strong point. And another theme. This I had 2 days to do and I actually had to skip the first day because I was working on a separate build that I talked about earlier in this video. That was a spaceship that I actually did do it, but I'm not allowed to show it yet. But anyway, so Star Wars was on the last day. I had 1 day to build this. And I was thinking, what on earth? Like, I could do Pirate Star Wars. I could do Indiana Jones Star Wars. I could do, like, Lord of the Rings Star Wars. I don't know. I don't know what I could make that would be fun. So I ended up just looking up a bunch of concept art. I saw this one that was, like, stormtroopers roasting marshmallows. And I thought that was kind of funny. Then I saw this other one where, like, Darth Vader had smashed a TIE fighter and was just, like, running away from it. Sort of looked like Spaceman Spiff from Calvin and Hobbes kind of art style. And I was like, maybe if I combine those. So, like, Darth Vader smashed his TIE fighter and into a campsite somehow. And then he instantly, instead of worrying about his crash, he's just, like, roasting a marshmallow. And I thought, that's pretty funny. And so that's what I ended up building because I couldn't really come up with any other ideas. And so as you can see, I started out with the campfire and the minifig positioning. They're kind of mildly disturbed at, like, where did you come from and why are you roasting a marshmallow? And then I built the trees. The trees were kind of tricky. I knew I wanted to do some like brick weaving on the trees, but I ended up I was so brain dead by this time, and I've been bad pretty recently with coming up with tree designs. So I knew I needed a good tutorial, so I looked up full plate builds, and he has some tree weaving techniques, and he had a tutorial that I followed for the basic tree. I changed it up a little bit for like the trunk, and then some of the layers I wanted to change a little bit. But the basic design, and man, they actually turned out amazing, and they're really fun to make, actually. So then you can see I changed the tent here on advice of Grant to it was a shorter to now it's taller. And then I built the TIE fighter. That was like the last thing I had to do. I knew I was just going to have to end up building a total ship and then smashing it from that point. So I sort of made this design here, and it's actually, I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, it's probably way out of scale for what it's supposed to be, and then like also might look too much like a set. I don't know, a lot of studs showing on it. I've never built really spaceships, like, especially from Star Wars before. So, but I think it turned out pretty well with the crash. In the end, I think all 6 mocks turned out pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with them for only being done in about 6 days of actual building, 7 days in a row. They're pretty quality. They're definitely not the best they could have been. A couple of them stand out better than the others. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied. It was a very fun week. I actually ended up coming 2nd place overall, which I was very pleased with. But honestly, there were some amazing builds every single day. And I'll feature a few of them right here, some of my favorites. So first we got Mountain Hobbit's new Babel mock. This is just fantastic, small micro, great use of color everywhere. Love the arch. There's actually another similar small mock by Ronan Handybuck, I think is his name, but his username that is. But together they were just awesome builds. We also have this build by Micah Peach's Lair. I gotta say that the lime on this and the flowers, awesome build. I can't believe it didn't actually get first. This Rona Candy Buck again, back again with Aslan's Sacrifice. I loved this build. Just very simple, but very elegant, you know, with the light play, textures on the broken stone table. Awesome. Great work. And then Cheesy Studios, the one who took the throne, took the win, the big dub. This was one of my favorite post-apocs, and he said he hadn't really ever built it before, and I'm like, bruh, look at the attention to detail on that, like the sand green under the bridge, the overpass, and then the dribble of water. There's just so much to love here, and you gotta admit how much foliage adds to every build. Like, if you remove those trees, this build would be very subpar, but with those trees, man, it just pops. Awesome stuff. We also Caleb Inman with his Spider-Man build, hanging out in the ferry. Loved this. It's awesome, really genius way to make Spider-Man a micro scale, and then the cars everywhere. Like, great work, and I know he was working on a limited collection as well. And then Luca, can't like disappoint me when there's a Luca build on the line. This thing is awesome, just the way he built that ladder. Super cool, and the base actually helps this time. I see the black bases like that a lot, but I think it really actually helped with this build here. Set the stage, and then the rock work is just fantastic. And finally we got Isaac Snyder with Operation Teddy. This is literally one of the cutest builds I've seen, and it's really well done. The way he's sunk the chest, and then just the whole concept of the sewer babies rescuing stuffed animals from the sewers. Like, of course they would be doing that. Fantastic builds from everybody, even if I didn't feature a few here. Everybody had awesome builds every day, and I was really encouraged and like entertained by seeing everything you guys made every single day, and it really encouraged me to keep building and carry on through the contest. Well, that's it for this video. Happy building.